Today's movie takes place in the city of Shanghai in China, which is occupied by Japan, and a martial arts expert discovers a list of assassinations targeting leaders of China. He decides to save them while wearing a mask so that no one discovers his identity. But will he succeed in doing so? Let's find out. Our movie begins with a war between China and France. France was the one dominating the war. There was a group of Chinese responsible for transporting ammunition to the soldiers fighting, but they were scared and terrified. However, their leader was a martial arts expert named Chen Zhen, and that reassured them. Chen Zhen noticed that most of the soldiers with him had died. The remaining ones were afraid because they knew their turn would come and they would die too. He decided to sneak out quickly before they were all killed, grabbed 3 knives, and ran at insane speed to attack the enemies, using acrobatic moves on his way to them. He actually managed to reach their location, and kept killing them with knives, one after the other. While Chen Zhen had already taken down most of the French soldiers, he discovered that his comrades had also reached the place where he was fighting. From that moment, he became the most famous man in China, and they called him the legend Chen Zhen. Then we moved to Mr. Lofen, the owner of the largest casino in China, where the country's elite and army leaders from all the nations occupying China, Britain, France, and Japan, gather. Some of them discuss the war and what's happening, while the rest come to forget about the war, during which the club's singer is performing. Suddenly, they are surprised by a man playing the piano. Sorry, it had nothing to do with the song, but most people liked it. Mr. Lo went down, and afterward introduced him to the singer. We learn her name is Kiki, who has just returned from France and whose name is T-Sun. From the moment Kiki saw him playing the piano, she was attracted to him and shook his hand. Mr. Lo left them and walked away. T-Sun then meets with his Chinese friends and talks about the war and how to resist the occupation. Here, we learn that they faked Chen Zhen's death because the country was focused on him, so he appeared under a new name and identity, partnering with Mr. Lo in the casino as T-Sun, so that being close to thieves and leaders there would help him gather more information. Then we see a Japanese general wearing a karate suit. We find out he is a martial arts expert, sitting in front of 3 officers. He tells them he received intelligence that information was leaked from their headquarters, and that one of them was the culprit. He approached them and killed them in seconds. Back to our friend Chen Zhen, sitting in the casino, who gets word that 2 top Chinese leaders are meeting, and the Japanese plan to kill one of them because he had been secretly working against them. Our friend was standing near the leaders' meeting place and felt something was about to happen. Suddenly, he saw a suit and mask displayed in a clothing shop. This gave him an idea. As soon as one of the leaders came out with his wife, they were attacked by the Japanese, who killed all the leaders' personal guards. Chen Zhen quickly put on the suit and mask he had seen, and a battle broke out between him and the Japanese. Because he was a martial arts expert, he was able to defeat them all, got into the car carrying the leader and his wife, and drove them to safety before leaving. News spread everywhere about the mysterious man fighting the Japanese. Next, we see the Japanese general holding a meeting with Japanese spies to gather information. Among them were the singer Kiki and another woman working in the casino. The latter told one of them that she suspected T-Sun, Mr. Lo's partner. He asked Kiki what information she had obtained, but she told him she hadn't been able to get anything. We return to Chen Zhen, sitting with Mr. Lo in the casino, when Kiki enters and tells Mr. Lo she wants to go out with T-Sun. Mr. Lo agrees, and T-Sun takes her on his motorcycle to the place where his friends are, introducing her to all his comrades who served with him in the army. She meets all his friends and his sister, and they all spend the evening together. Kiki notices a picture of Chen Zhen with his comrades during the war, and one of them is drawing a portrait of her. Later, the Japanese army prepares a list of all the Chinese leaders they want to eliminate, deciding to finish them all within 1 month. This list gets leaked to Chen Zhen and his friends, and they decide to save everyone on it. The first thing they do is announce this list across all of China through radio and newspapers, so that those on the list know and escape before being killed by the Japanese. Then the Japanese general and his assistant go to Mr. Lo's casino to cause trouble, but Chen Zhen stops them, introducing himself as T-Sun and the owner of the place. He asks them if they need anything, and a conversation starts with the general, who is suspicious of him and asks about the masked man, whether he thinks he'll appear again. Chen Zhen replies that people say he will, and he agrees with them. The general then challenges him, betting that the masked man won't be able to save anyone on the list. Chen Zhen accepts the bet. Mr. Lo tries to change the subject, subject, and just then the press enters to interview the general. But he leaves. The Japanese begin killing the people on the list one by one, while Chen Zhen goes to each location and manages to save some of them. He eventually reaches the last person on the list, where the Japanese are already present. He keeps fighting them, defeating them one after another. But unfortunately, they kill the last person on the list and try to escape. Chen Zhen manages to catch up to them and eliminate them, one of them being the Japanese general's brother. He then returns to the casino and suspects the female spy who worked with the Japanese and was with Kiki. When he follows her, he confirms she's with them. Afterward, he also suspects Kiki and goes to her house to confront her and confirm his suspicion. He realizes she is indeed working with the Japanese, but he is hurt because he truly loved her. So he doesn't kill her but warns her that if he sees her again, he will. As soon as he leaves her house, not in the mood, the Japanese ambush and beat him, taking him with them and telling him they know he is Chen Zhen. They torture him for the death of the general's brother. Meanwhile, Chen Zhen's friends storm the Japanese headquarters with explosives, killing everyone they encounter. At that moment, the general reaches Chen Zhen and tells him that last year he entered a martial arts school, defeated and killed his father, and now he has killed his brother too, but that he respects him and wants to fight man to man. He orders his men to release Chen Zhen so he can avenge his father with honor. A soldier then enters and informs the general about the attack on the headquarters. Back at the HQ, Chen Zhen's friends blow it up completely. When the general arrives, he is shocked by what happened and sends his men after Chen Zhen's comrades, who are all killed in cold blood and hanged. Worse still, the general's assistant rapes Chen Zhen's sister. At that time, Chen Zhen is between life and death, falling into a coma for days. During those days, all of China rises in revolution against the Japanese occupation, which had nearly taken over the entire country and was in its final days. Chen Zhen recovers from his coma, extremely distressed to learn what happened to his sister and friends. He goes to Mr. Lo, saying they must do something, and declares his decision to take revenge. Kiki enters wearing a military uniform with two soldiers, telling Mr. Lo he must hand over Chen Zhen, and they storm the place to kill everyone in it. Mr. Lo becomes angry and kills the two soldiers with her, putting on his combat suit to be ready, and they enter the Japanese headquarters, which turns out to be a martial arts school. There he meets the general, who challenges Chen Zhen, throwing the corpse of one of his dead comrades in front of him, and even kills Kiki before his eyes. Chen Zhen nearly goes mad when he sees the man who raped his sister. He beats him until he destroys his future. Everyone present attacks him, but he keeps striking them rapidly. They cannot match him, and he keeps knocking them down one after another, crushing them until they use weapons. He then pulls out his nunchaku and sends them flying, though they occasionally manage to hit him. Still, he defeats them, leaving them all lying before him, until only the Japanese general remains. The general faces him, and they attack each other. Since Chen had just fought the entire school, the general manages to land multiple strikes. Chen tries to block them, but the general lands a decisive kick, knocking him to the ground and leaving him unable to move. Chen remembers the war and everything that happened, pushes through, gets back up, removes his shirt, and stands ready. When the general attacks, Chen delivers multiple strikes, breaking all the joints in his arms, then keeps hitting him until he delivers the final blow and kills him. He sits, injured. Thus, Chen Zhen manages to defeat most of the Japanese army in China on his own. He decides to live the rest of his life in hiding, fighting occupation and injustice. And that's the end, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to follow us and see more movies, subscribe and turn on the bell.